Have you ever wondered what would happen if your car remembered a place that no longer existed? I never thought about it until the night my navigation system gave me an address I didn't recognize. It was supposed to be a normal drive home after a late shift. Then my car quietly changed the route. The destination was an old residential address on the outskirts of the city, and somehow the car seemed completely certain I needed to go there. At first, I assumed it was just a navigation error. The system had recently received an update, so outdated map information didn't seem impossible. But the strange part was how the car behaved. It didn't simply suggest the route. It began driving toward it automatically. I tried changing the destination, but the system kept returning to the same address. The farther I drove, the less familiar everything became. The road eventually became almost completely empty. Streetlights disappeared. The houses became older and farther apart. Then I noticed something strange on the navigation screen. The map showed a neighborhood surrounding my destination, but when I looked through the windshield, there was only an overgrown road. No houses, no sidewalks, nothing that matched the digital map. Just darkness ahead. I finally recognized the road from an old photograph I had seen years earlier. It had once been part of a neighborhood that was demolished after a major flood. I remembered the news reports. The houses had been cleared away. The land was supposedly empty. Yet my car continued forward. Then the headlights illuminated something in the distance. A concrete foundation, a broken driveway, and an address marker half buried beneath the weeds. The address marker matched the number on my screen. I stopped breathing for a moment. The house was gone. There wasn't even a wall left standing, but my car seemed to believe otherwise. The navigation display showed a small blue building exactly where the empty foundation sat. Then the vehicle slowly turned into the driveway. I wanted to stop it, but before I could, the headlights suddenly illuminated something that made my stomach drop. There was a front door, not a complete house, not a standing wall, just an old wooden front door sitting upright in the middle of the ruins. I stared at it through the windshield. The car stopped several meters away. Then the navigation screen changed. The destination status switched from approaching to arrived. For a few seconds, I could only hear the electric motor humming, and then I noticed the timestamp attached to the saved destination. The saved destination had been created 12 years earlier, long before my car even existed. I checked the vehicle history again. There were dozens of data entries connected to the same location. Old photographs, route calculations, property information. Even a record showing the house as an active residence. It suddenly occurred to me. The car wasn't discovering this place. It was remembering it. I looked at the old photograph one more time, and something didn't make sense. The house in the photograph had the exact same front door I was staring at, but there was something else. In the upstairs window, I could see a person standing there. I looked through my windshield. There was no house, no window, no person. I looked back at the screen. The figure was still there, and then the navigation system created a new destination, my own home address. As if the car had finally found somewhere else to remember. I drove home manually that night. I disconnected the navigation system and never used that destination again. But the experience left me with a question I still can't answer. Modern cars are being taught to remember everything: roads, buildings, addresses. People, places that disappear from the physical world can remain alive inside databases for decades. So what happens when a machine trusts that memory more than what its cameras can see? And if your car remembered a place that no longer existed, would you trust your eyes? Or would you trust the machine? If your smart car insisted that a demolished house was still there, Would you believe the machine? Or would you trust what your own eyes were telling you?